Okay, we have babies. So we had, well, they're actually 2 days old right now, but obviously didn't do a video on the first day because things were pretty hectic. Mommy was in labor for about 4 hours. Started at little midnight, 1 in the morning, and it went till around 5. Yeah, about 4 or 5 hours, and then of course after that, around the clock care begins. Zombie life begins because especially for the first 10 days, you have to. They can't really be left alone at all for the first 10 days. You have to feed them every hour, hour and a half if they're really small. Even more often, I'll explain that in a bit, because when they're really small, they can't hold that much food, right? So we have one really, really tiny one. Let me just switch the cameras around. And okay. So right now they're just finishing up one of their feedings. So there's 6. There's 5 females and one male. There's two fawns and 4 black ones, and the one male is a black one. So there's 3 black females and 2 fawn females and 1 black male. So at 1:35 a.m., well, the first one was born at 1:02 a.m. and the last one was born at 5:12 a.m. But the one that was born at 1:35 a.m. is the smallest one. It's a black female, and she's only, her birth weight was 50 grams. So if you have a food scale at home and you put anything in, like, to see what I mean by 50 grams, it'll kind of give you an idea of how tiny she is. So you hear people say that a newborn puppy has to eat every hour and a half to 2 hours. When they're that small, they actually have to eat more often, because they're so tiny. Like, she's just a little bit bigger than my thumb. So she's so tiny, her stomach is so small, and her stomach literally can't hold enough food to sustain what she needs for an hour and a half or 2 hours. So she has to eat pretty well almost every half hour, because she only eats such a small bit. I'll show you her in a minute. 1 second. I'll give them all a little close-up. Because each one has to have their bum wiped after their feedings. So this one here is, now when I say fawn, they look darker. For anyone that's never seen it, one of our videos, when they're first born, they look a lot darker. The fawns, they almost look like a light, like a medium brown to apricot. But as they get older, they lighten. But definitely they look a lot darker when they're first born. So they're technically, I say 2 days, but they're really just over. What time is it now? It's 1:08 a.m. So we're 6 minutes into their second day. So they're technically a day old, but they're literally like 6 minutes into day 2 here. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. Get her all camera ready. So we're going to give them all temporary nicknames, and that will help people identify which is which. Obviously, we have 3 people on our reserve list right now, so those 3 people have to make their pick first before we can announce the 3 that are available. Because we do have 3 people that have reserved a pick. So I will try to show you this one. This is, she's a little female. And when I say fawn, you'll see she's quite dark still, but she will lighten up. And then she has a nice large white patch on her chest. You'll notice too that their noses are pink usually, and then they'll become black. They will become black as they, by the time they're 2-3 weeks old. They tend to darken up. Okay, just so I don't get confused, I'm going to grab the other fawn one now. So that fawn one was at birth. Let me get the time for her 1 second. She was born at exactly 2 a.m. She was 105 grams at birth, the one that I just showed you. So we don't have any temporary nicknames for them yet, but we will. And then for anyone that ends up adopting her, I'll mention, when I tell you her temporary nickname, I'll also mention that her time of birth and her birth weight, so then you'll be able to go back to this video and see which one she was and what she looked like when she was 1 day old. I mean, if you're inclined to. Now this one here was born second. This one was born at 1:08 a.m. And at birth, she was 81 grams. Very small litter. This litter is very, very small. So she does not have any white on her chest. She has the brown body. I have to kind of cradle her with my fingers because obviously I don't want to drop her. She has the, so she's more of a dark fawn or a solid fawn. There's no white patches whatsoever. But she will get a lot lighter. This is going to be really neat to watch actually as she ages, because you see her right now at 1 day and 6 minutes old, how dark she is, right? And if anything, just remember this one, how dark this body is compared to how dark she's going to be when she's like 3-4 weeks old. Okay. So, yeah, so her birth weight was 81 grams, and the other fawn was 114 grams. Okay, and then the third one that was born was the tiniest one, which her birth weight was 50. She was 50 grams at birth. I'll show her to you now. Oh, 1 second. Just spit up. before I started recording, I had to make sure this one ate. And this is the one that has to eat pretty well every 30 minutes right now. And she's super tiny. Okay, I'm going to, so this is her. She's super tiny. She has a little white patch on her chin. She has a large white triangle on her chest. Her entire body is solid black, and she has little white tips on her two front feet and her bottom feet. But I don't want to move her around too much. She's super tiny. She's just roughly the size of my thumb. I can put her next to my thumb. You'll see her whole body there. 1 second. Okay. So I've showed you the two fawns, and then I've showed you the tiniest of the black female. Now, the other ones are still eating, so what I'm going to do is I'll pause the video. I think, no, I'm using the program I'm using, I have to stop it. I'm going to stop the video, and then when the other ones are done eating, I'm just going to resume it. And then that'll be around the time that I'm cleaning their little bums, and I can hold them up to the camera. They're black. You're not going to see a whole lot of detail, but hopefully on your end it looks pretty decent. So I'm just going to stop the video. I also have to get Mommy out of there because she's starting to overheat. So as soon as they're done eating, I'm going to get Mommy out, get her a little bit of water and some of her vanilla ice cream, and then I'll return. Okay, so it's supposed to be about 5, maybe 10 minutes, but it's been probably an hour since I had to hit the stop video. So those last 3 or 4, they finished eating, but then I had to get Mom organized, give her her treat, and then all the dogs woke up. They had to go outside and whatnot. So then I let the adults outside, and then Mommy came in, had her ice cream. Then I gave her her wet food. She gets this, it's called milk thistle. It helps stimulate for more breast milk. So got all that done, and then by the time all that was done, the babies had to eat again. So just fed the babies again. They all just ate again, and now I'll do the close-ups of the other. I think it was the 2 black females and 1 black male. I hadn't shown you. Here, let me switch the cameras over. There we go. Okay, so at the first half of the video, I showed you 2 female fawns. I mentioned 2 different weights for the larger female fawn, and that's because I mentioned that she was 105 grams, but then later on I mentioned that she was 114 grams, and that's because we weigh them. You stop that. We weigh them every day. So I believe it was 20 or 22 hours after birth I weighed them. So just to correct that, her birth weight was 105 grams, and then when she was around 22 hours old, about 2 hours before I started the video, I weighed her again, and she was 114 grams. So she gained 9 grams in like 22 or 23 hours. Anyways, so that's why for anyone that watches, they may have noticed, well, he said 2 different weights, because when I was reading off of our book, I had read off her second weight as her birth weight by accident when I repeated her weight. Anyways, you get the gist of it. She was born at 2 a.m. at 105 grams, and then roughly at 1 day old, her weight was 114 grams. The little one, The tiniest one, the one the size of my thumb, she was actually born at 50 grams, and her weight is only 51 grams right now, which means she didn't really gain. 1 gram is not considered a gain. So at 1 day old, obviously we have to really be careful with her and be very, very meticulous about her feedings, that she doesn't miss a single feeding. If she spits up, you have to redo the feeding. For the first, I think, 3 or 4 feedings, she was too weak. She couldn't even eat. So we had her on assisted oxygen, and I did tube feedings. And then when she was about 4 hours old, then she was able to start eating off mum. So now she eats every 30 minutes off her mum. But yeah, a couple times she spits up, and then you got to clean her and whatnot, and then you stimulate her to kind of wake her up a bit, and then you have to get her to eat again because her tummy's empty. So, and then the other fawn, because I showed you the 2 female fawns, the other one was 81 grams, and that one there, for anyone that's not sure, I'm probably just repeating myself, but she's really dark. She almost looks black, but you're going to see how much she lightens up by the time she's 3-4 weeks old, and by the time she's 8 weeks old, like ready to go to her new home, she's going to look like your classic fawn pug, which is quite amazing. So just going to hold her up one more time. She's female fawn, very dark. There's no white markings at all on her chest, and you watch how she lightens up as she gets older. That's the small 81 gram at birth female fawn. The other fawn is also a female, and she's a little bit lighter already, and she has the white patch on her chest and a little white patch on her chin. I'm not going to pick up the little 50 gram one again. Thinking of a nickname for her, I'm thinking of that. I think it's that old cartoon, one of the size of your thumb. I think it's Thumbelina, I'm not sure. I'll Google it. But either that or since she was 50 grams, we might call her 50 Cent. But he was a male and she's female, so I'm not sure. Let's go to the other 3 black ones. This one here is the male. Again, you're not going to see much, he's solid black. So the male, you find him here. He was born at 1:42 a.m. and he was 78 grams at birth. And at the 23 hour mark, he was 84 grams. Hey, Mushu, 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 stop that. So this one here, he's, again, won't see much detail, but he's solid black. He has the tiniest white speck on his chest. It's very hard to see, it's super tiny. Sorry, little man. And there's his little face, but you're not going to see much detail there. But you'll see more detail as they age. And they've got that, I don't know if you could tell, I'll let him hang with a hand there. See that? You want that, it's like a bell, like an oval bell shape at the bottom of their belly. You want that. That's a healthy weight gain, even though they're super small. Okay, sweetie. Now, as far as the 2 females, I'm going to show them to you together. Well, no, that's not fair. Give them their spotlight. This female, she was born they were the last 2 born, 3:03 a.m. and 5:12. This one was 5:12. Her birth weight was 112 grams, and she's now 118 grams. So she gained just the 6 grams. So they're not gaining lots yet. They're supposed to gain 10% of their body weight every 24 hours. But they're super. This is very tiny litter. So this one here, she is solid black, not a single speck on her anywhere. If you look at her chest cavity, where a lot of times right here you'll see a white speck, completely solid black on her chest. Sorry, sweetie. And her back everywhere, paws, like she's completely solid black. I'll try to hold her there so you can see her little face. Now, when I say completely solid black, I only say that because some people, if it has a white paw or a white patch on its chest, they just don't like that. And other people think it's character, you know what I mean? If you're showing them, that's the only time it really matters. You don't want anything like that if you're showing them. But if you're not showing them, and if it's just simply a pet, it's irrelevant. Okay. Now the other one is this one. This one was born at 3:03 a.m. Her birth weight was 89 grams, and she's now sitting at 94 grams. So again, didn't gain the 10% she's supposed to. But hopefully that will grow. She has a tiny white speck on her chest, so I'll show you that first. So the only thing separating her from the other one in size is that tiniest little white speck right there. She calls that her intelligence speck. Rest of her body is solid black. Paws, everything all solid black. And that speck is so small it actually might disappear. It's hard to say. And I'll show you her face. I know on camera it looks like maybe I'm being rough with them. But in all honesty, I'm not. Like, I've been doing this for many years, and you take this sweetheart, this tiny one. Here, I'll pick her up. I said I wouldn't. She was born at 50 grams, and I mean, she's literally, I can be so gentle with her, even though it looks like I'm rough, and she'll fall asleep in my hands. So the one that was born at 50 grams, she needs her spotlight one more time. She's got like a little white goatee. She has a large white triangle on her chest. And then her 2 front paws are white on the ends. And then her 2 back feet, if you could see them, are white on the very end. So it's like her all 4 paws are dipped in white paint. And then she has like a little white chin, very small white chin. The tiniest white speck on her head right here, and then a nice white triangular pattern on her chest. She's got a lot of character. She's definitely a unique one. So yeah, that's it. There's 4 black ones, 2 fawn ones, and out of all of them, only 1 male, and that's black. So through default, you have 3 black females and 2 fawn females and 1 black male. Out of the 3 black females, one of them has a large white patch with a little goatee. One of them has the tiniest little white speck, and the other one is solid black. And then the black male, I already forget. The black male, I'm seeing if he has a patch or not. The black male has the tiniest little patch. It's really tiny on his chest. Okay. So I'm actually going to have to do their bums again. And thinking about a half an hour they have to eat. So I'm going to do all their bums really quick, get them all expressed, make them go pee and poop, let them have a small nap, and then they have to eat again. And it's now, yeah, it's almost 5 a.m. now. And then nighttime is usually stay up all night with them, and then daytime in between them eating, sometimes I'll get like a 30 or a 40-minute nap, and then when Terry's not at work, she can watch them, and that's when I can get like a 5-6 hour nap. But aside from that, those first 10 days, and right now it's winter time, so I'm not at work. My job is in construction industry, so usually January, February, I'm home, which works out pretty good. But during the summer, a lot of times when we have a litter, for the first 10, 12 days, I just have to take the time off because, I mean, their lives matter and they're only here because of us. So the onus is on us to do the absolute everything possible so they can, like I say, not just survive, but thrive. Okay, I will let you guys go. But this is technically, I'm going to post it as a 1 day video because at the start of the video, they were only 6 minutes into their second day. So, yeah, they were, technically, they're just a couple hours into their second day now. So this will be day 1, and then I'll do a 1 week update, a 2 week update, all the way up until they're 8 weeks old, like I did with the other litters. So that way, if you end up being one of the individuals that adopt one of these little babies, you'll have a catalog of little clips you can go back to and see your baby when they were like a week old, 2 weeks old, and so forth. Because many people don't see their puppy until it's 8 or 9 weeks old. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye. So the video that you just watched, it was in 2 parts. The first part and then the second part was about 2 hours after the first part. Both parts were filmed the wee hours of the morning Saturday, but just shy after midnight. Basically, after that video was filmed, it was still all Saturday night to go, and then of course sun came up Sunday, and then it's now a little after 7 p.m. on Sunday. So it's been about 18 hours since I've hit stop on the second clip. The reason I'm adding this is little Thumbelina. I tried so hard. We did everything we could, and that's just the real side of things. And I figured, full transparency. You can do everything you can. You can have all the equipment, and you can have the 24-hour vet on call. It doesn't matter sometimes. And I don't want her to be remembered as just the little black girl with the white patch on the chest. She was 50 grams, so her nickname was 50 Cent. And then I decided I was going to call her actually Thumbelina. So in a way, all she knew was the perfect life, because she's not going to comprehend the fact that she didn't get to do zoomies through the grass or have her favorite treat and stuff like that. But she knew the warmth of snuggling up to her mom's stomach and resting up against her mom's belly and feeling her heartbeat and just falling asleep next to her siblings and her mom and then falling asleep. So I don't know if it makes sense, but uh, yeah, her name was Thumbelina. Uh, she had she was black. Her 4 feet had white tips, a little bit of white on her chin. She had very large underbite. She would have looked adorable. Uh, uh, she had like a very smug look, even though she was so small. Her little chin, the underbite. It would have been wonderful to see her as a young puppy. And then the patch on her chest was like a triangle. You couldn't tell when I held her up, but it went wide, and then it went down like that. She had a large white patch on her chest.
little white goatee and 4 little white tips on each foot. Her name was Thumbelina.